Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. That's right, it's half wrestling show, half morning show, and it's pretty much all BS. And of course, you got the Coco crew here holding it down live. First, you got yours truly, the sexiest man on all of our net wrestling radio. That's right, boom, boom, here shaking the room live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, joining me from sunny South Florida, the ravishing one himself, Rob Sackett. Good evening to you, Rob. How the hell are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Ain't gonna complain, man. Another NXT in the books. This time they took the show out on the road to Columbus, Ohio, at the Arnold Sports Center. And of course, the first question that we ask with this show and every show that we do here with KocoSports.com is, what do you give it? A win, a loss, or a tie? Rob, we're going to start out with you tonight. What did you give tonight's show? A win, a loss, or a tie?
I'm gonna give it a tie, honestly.
Give it a tie, okay.
Yeah, there was nothing stand out.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to give it about a solid tie. For me, it's a solid tie. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't great. I think they had a lot. They executed well on some things, but some other things I think needed to be tweaked. But all in all, I was happy with the show. I was very happy with the presentation. You know, what I think is funny here, at least with NXT, if y'all would indulge me for a moment here, is they're finally starting to take this out on the road. It's looking like Triple H is wanting to turn NXT into like this uber indie fed. Congratulations to him, by the way. They sold out a show, 4,100 seats, and they sold that out within 2 hours, and there was really no advertising for it with the exception of some social media stuff and, of course, fans there. And now I've got some good news and some bad news, but it's the same thing. It's gotten the attention of Vince McMahon. Now, that can be a good thing in the sense of Vince McMahon is going to notice how successful they are, you know, and go, wow, this is kind of, I think this is a growing trend. This is pretty hot. This is what the fans want to see. This is what they're clamoring for. This is what one of the products that people are subscribing to the WWE Network for. Hey, maybe I need to make Raw a little bit more like this. Or it could be bad and go, wow, NXT's doing pretty good with hardly any advertising and just Triple H running it. Imagine what could happen if I got my hands on it and really decided to help them out.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oof. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing. So, real quick, just, you know, before we get into that, you know, what do you think about that kind of? I mean, for one, the sellout, and you know, in NXT going on the road, and two, this, you know, possibly attracting the attention of Vince McMahon.
I think the going on the road occasionally is good. I think doing it too much is a bad idea, though, because they're supposed to still be developmental. They're supposed to be training these people. If they're constantly taking them out on the road, they're taking away from their trainers and their training facility, which kind of feels like it defeats the purpose.
Okay. And we got a question here from Lennox Watterson. Of course, he's all about some NXT. Anytime we do the NXT review, Lennox, man, he's right there. He's on top of it. And without exception, before we even went on the air, he had his questions ready. So let's go ahead and knock one out of the way. He says, is it fair to say that if NXT continues down this path of hiring the top indie talents and touring America, they will quickly become the #2 wrestling promotion in America? If not, what else would it take to become #2? Well, I would say no, Lennox. They can't become the #2 because it's still a part of the WWE. I mean, this is still this is their training facility. I mean, this is like here's an example that I know of. It's you know, the Chicago White Sox. You know, they've had a World Series within the past 15, 20 years. A good brand. And then their developmental league, the AAA, are actually the Birmingham Barons, and that's like saying, well, if you keep hiring up all these good, you know, independent baseball players, these minor league guys, and bringing them up from AA into this AAA team, how much longer before they, you know, become better than the Chicago White Sox? Well, it's part of the same club, so. No, I would say no, that they couldn't become #2 because they're part of #1. I mean, it doesn't work that way. Or I would argue that Ring of Honor is on the cusp of becoming number 2. I mean, right now TNA has been number 2 by default, but I think if Ring of Honor could really get some more exposure, I think they could definitely surpass TNA and become the number 2 company. In fact, I think they're right for the picking, to be honest, TNA that is. And with TNA moving down to Destination America, I think if Ring of Honor could get a little bit more exposure, I think they could surpass TNA. I think New Japan could take the number 2 spot. Right now, they're working on getting a foothold here in the United States with their show on AXS. I think the launch of New Japan World really helps them out. If they could get some, I think they could really start to make a dent if they could get a little bit more TV and get full-time English commentary. I think they could take number 2. But Rob, you got any opinions on this before I kind of get into the show here?
I think you missed the promotion that is the most likely to take number 2, in my opinion, which is Lucha Underground.
Well, definitely can't rule them out. Now, we're going to do a review on Lucha Underground within the next 24 to 48 hours, and we're supposed to have some kind of special guest. I can tell you who it's not going to be. It's not going to be the Ultimate Warrior. He will not appear on as our guest. But I wonder who it could be. Who do you think our special guest is? I mean, it's so secret. I mean, they're not even telling us. Me and Rob have no clue.
I personally have a theory. I think it's going to be Triple H coming on to say, hey, listen, I need you to help with the WrestleMania stuff. You and I will talk about this Lucha Underground thing, and then I'll be like, hey, what can I learn from this show? And you just tell me the things I could take home, and we'll try and fix WrestleMania. I'll be like, all right, Triple H, here you go. This is Lucha Underground. Lucha Underground, though, I think is right to be number 2 just because they have great marketing packaging. They put out...
They're an offshoot of AAA.
Yeah, like they put out great high-quality stuff, which makes it easier to show it to other people to spread the word about them. The only thing is, it's the same as ROH. It's just getting on enough televisions to be able to be number 2.
And to be honest, and I know this is the NXT review, and we're going to get to that, but let me just say this about, Lucha Underground. I mean, they've only been around since October, and they're on some kind of, on a rare, or not rare, but not widely available upstart new network, and I think they're doing pretty good for, where they're at right now.
Oh, yeah, I think they were doing amazing.
All right, but come on, Rob. We got to start talking about NXT. The first match here, coming out the gate, Callisto versus Tyler Breeze. You know what? I think this was a good match to to start the show off with. One thing that kind of breaks my heart, about how they're, at least what the NXT crowd is doing with the Lucha Dragons, is they're booing them now. They know, the cat's out of the bag. They know that they're going up. They've been wrestling some matches on, I think it was main event on main event. I'm thinking they're probably going to debut after WrestleMania officially. Callisto and Sin Cara as the Lucha Dragons, and I think I kind of see this as like the NXT crowd, kind of like the ECW crowd. They knew when people like Taz and Raven were jumping ship and going out, that they booed the hell out of them. I think it's like the same thing, and I think it's a shame. Actually,
considering they're not jumping ship. They're getting promoted.
In a way, it's like they're jumping ship. Kind of within context here. I mean, they're moving up, and we should be happy. We honestly should be happy for them that these guys are considered good enough and marketable enough and talented enough to go up to the bigger leagues, even though we know what's going to happen to them. But still, you kind of got to be happy for them. It's like, somebody gets a promotion, it sucks to see them go, but you're glad to see them be successful. So that's the way I see it. I definitely think this was just an amazing match. Good reversals. I mean, Breeze caught Callisto with a couple of good super kicks. Crowd solidly behind Tyler Breeze and the selfie stick. He hit a beautiful 450 splash, Callisto that is, and Breeze barely got out of that one by grabbing the ropes. The match ended with Callisto, going for the Selena del Sol, but Breeze managed to get out of that and hit the beauty shot, got the win. I thought that was I thought it was a good. I thought it was a good win. They're trying to get some momentum back behind Tyler Breeze because he'd been on a losing streak for a while, going up against the likes of Hideo Itami.
Hmm.
And now it's looking like they're about to, put the support back behind them. And this was just another good notch in his belt, in my opinion. Are you seeing it the same way I do? You think it was a solid opener? What are your thoughts on, Callisto moving up and just the recent momentum and push behind Tyler Breeze?
Um, I'm liking Tyler Breeze's push, though I don't know why, because I don't really like Tyler Breeze's gimmick all that much. I kind of think it's silly. But I like him in ring. Like, I think he's super entertaining, and I'm excited to see him getting more in ring time. But I have to wonder, like, what are they going to do with him when it comes main roster time? Because I just don't see this gimmick working on the main roster.
Well, I can see Callisto doing it because the reason I see Callisto doing it, he's basically going to be the replacement for Rey Mysterio. He's a small guy who wears a mask. He's going to be. It's like almost a grand slam for WWE. He's the reason. They marketed Rey Mysterio to kids, and I think they're going to put the same kind of marketing campaign that they put with Rey Mysterio behind Callisto, because kids. Okay, they see the small guy. Well, they're small and they dream about being wrestlers. Well, here's this small guy, he's wrestling. That could totally be me. And I like the mask, it's kind of mysterious. I would totally wear a mask if I was a wrestler, and I want my parents to buy me one for Christmas. That's what I see. And plus, he's Hispanic, so that's a demographic WWE is desperately trying to appeal to get, especially since they've let go Alberto Del Rio. Yes, they do have Sin Cara on there, but he's like far. His appearances are far and few in between. I think, in my opinion, Callisto is somebody that they'll definitely get behind. I don't think Los Matadores is cutting it, at least with the Hispanic demographic, and I think this is a baby face that WWE, the machine, will get behind and try to market it. And basically, he's going to be Rey Mysterio 2.0, at least in their eyes.
I don't know. I just don't see that working out the way that they're planning. Because right now, there's a better promotion just promoting how good Lucha can be to the exact same market they're trying to use him to steal from. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Well, we'll have to wait and see. And of course, I base this off nothing. This is pure speculation. I'm just speculating that they're going to debut the Lucha Dragons on Raw right after Mania. So we'll see. Also, want to give shout outs to Shit's Legit and Bullfrog 420 for retweeting and favoring us. Thank you very much. We do appreciate that. Let's see here. Next match here, we had Colin Cassidy taking on one half of the tag team champions with Wesley Blake. Um, the match is okay. The whole thing, I think, what made this match was just the usual entrance with Enzo Amore, Carmella, and Colin Cassidy out there doing their little shtick. The match was short. It was about a 3-minute match, but I think it felt longer. I think the match was good for what it was. You had a lot of those knees, right, that Colin Cassidy put in Blake's gut. Those look
Mhm.
absolutely brutal. You got Cassidy. It's just this huge behemoth, and I think if they really develop him, he has potential to be a star.
Oh
Um,
yeah. I mean, he's got the best mic ring or the best mic work I've ever seen on a guy that size.
hmm And another thing, I like that they use this to kind of promote the feud, the tag team feud between Cassidy and Amore, and then the tag team champions. You
Hmm.
saw that Buddy Murphy got up on the apron. Carmella went up there to stop him. Cassidy goes over there and knocks off Buddy Murphy. Wesley Blake sees the opening, goes and as he goes to roll up Colin Cassidy, that knocks Carmella uh, off the apron down to the floor. He's got him. Wesley Blake has Colin Cassidy in a pinning predicament, grabs a handful of tights, gets the win. Then, of course, everybody goes over to check. By everybody, I mean Enzo, Amore, and Big Cass. They go over to check out Carmella. I think she was favoring her ankle. And I think this was good because, I mean, you don't want to have your champions. I mean, my God, Raw, come on, take notes from your own fucking product here. You don't want to have your tag team champions lose out that, but you want to get them over his heels. And you want to kind of ramp, add a little fuel to the fire here, more motivation for Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy to be angry at Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy and want to beat them and want to fight their way up to earn a tag team title match. I think it's going to be great. I think they're going to make something out of nothing. With what I work in the business that I work in, we have a saying: sometimes you got to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Right now, let's just face it, NXT, their tag division is chicken shit right now, and they're doing their best to make chicken salad. So at least props to them for working well with what they have. I think it would be nice if they would get some more tag teams in, maybe develop some of the guys in the Shoot Nation and get them on TV. I think that would definitely work. But here's a bold prediction for you, Rob. And I'm going to ask you what you thought about this match and this building tag team feud between the Dubstep Cowboys, as we call them, Blake and Murphy, versus Cassidy and Amore. Here's my theory. That right now, Carmella's kind of become like an unlikely focus of this feud. She's been hit on and used as a prop for, Amore and Cassidy, but Blake and Murphy have kind of hit on her. What I'm thinking is going to happen, and this is just me, if I was booking it, I would have at the next whatever event, that I'm hoping the next, big televised event, that Blake and Murphy have a tag team title bout against Cassidy and Amore, and they win, and then after that, Carmella decides to ditch the Zeros and gets with the Heroes and turns on them. That's what I would do because I think, people are already kind of booing her. She has more of a heel persona, and I think she would work better as like a heel manager or a heel valet, with Blake and Murphy.
I would be heartbroken if she betrayed Enzo like that. My entire hope here is that Enzo wins the title with Big Cass and that they just become the new longest reigning NXT champions because they're going to be hilarious on the mic every single night.
Well, and that's another thing. Dave KocoSports would love these guys because they're gold. They don't necessarily have to win to be popular, to be over. Because their whole everybody can do. When they go through their routine, everybody can quote it word for word. They love it. And even tonight, with Big Cass losing, they were still cool. And I really think that Blake and Murphy need more wins to kind of keep that heat on them. Because I think if they lose a couple of matches in a row, it's really going to cool them off, and that's something they don't need, especially right now with the tag team division being in the shape that it's in. They really need a hot feud. They need, Blake and Murphy to win, steal Carmella, keep this feud even hot, and keep it going until they can at least get another tag team ready to challenge, somebody, so that way they can either get the belts off Blake and Murphy or have somebody to, take the belts off of them. Because I don't think the Ascension's coming back anytime soon.
I don't know. The Ascension might be coming back real soon from the way they've been not showing up on TV.
Oh, that doesn't mean anything. I think they'll get let go before they get sent back down.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think the only exception to that rule... Okay, with NXT, the only exception to the rule about being sent back down is Emma, and that's only because people pitch such a damn fit over a fit over her and her initial firing. Like, hired her back 2 hours later, but still.
Yeah.
And I think they just want to avoid that whole, hey, you're a bunch of hypocrites because you've got people on your roster that have done things 10 times worse, and they're still employed. And here's something that may have actually, and I'm not saying it was, I'm not saying it isn't, but may have been an honest mistake.
Hmm.
Just a mistake, and that's the only exception to the rule. But for the most part, if you're going back down, it's because they don't have anything for you. I mean, they did it with Justin Gabriel, they did it with Tyson Kidd, they did it one time off with Titus O'Neil. They did a couple of matches with Curtis Axel. It's really just to kind of help put over somebody, or they don't have anything for you, so we can retool your character or have you, work with some of these guys. That's the only reason you're going down. But I think if you've already been called up and you're not cutting it by then, I think they're just going to cut you loose.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's just, man, it's harsh. Because that's a
Uh,
terrible gimmick for those two guys.
yeah, I think the biggest mistake WWE made with the Ascension was they had them talk. And just hear me out here. I think they could, they've got this face paint and it looks a little ridiculous, looks a little cartoony, which is fine. But I think if you had them just go out there, not say a word, and just beat the crap out of some people in short matches and not have them say anything, add a little mystique to them, I think that would have worked. Or you get somebody to speak for them, or basically, and I know this is cheesy, or maybe be the bodyguards of like a smarmy heel. So I'm not saying like Miz, but that'd be like an example. Somebody that's just really smarmy.
Oh, Seth Rollins just fires J&J and gets
Yeah,
the
Seth Rollins
Ascension.
fires J&J Security because they can't protect him, so he gets the Ascension. And so you've got these guys that, these big guys that are just beating. They just go in there, they beat the crap out of you in like 60 seconds, and they leave.
That would have
And
been way cooler, actually, if they
that
had
that would have
actually
been
had
better. But
Rollins.
unfortunately, they had him talk. And then I think the reason why they got so much heat is not the fact that they said, "Oh, we're better than the Legion of Doom. Oh, we're better than Demolition." I don't think they didn't. In my opinion, they didn't get in trouble for that. What irked people was that they haven't. I mean, they don't. I mean, they know it's scripted. They know they're supposed to be bad guys. They're supposed to say outrageous things. I think what upset them was that they don't feel like they've earned that yet. They've got
Hmm.
that. They've become good enough heels to say, "Oh, we're better than Demolition. We're better than the Legion of Doom." You guys are just starting at, and I think it rubbed people the wrong way, and that's why they've been treated the way they have. And you know, and I hate it for them. I really do. I think that was a squandered opportunity with the Ascension.
Oh, yeah. I think they had a decent chance to be something, and it kind of just went away.
All right. Thanks to Mecha Shiva for retweeting and favoring us. Thank you. Let's see here. Fran Yelly, he's got a question here. He says, "Is it far fetched for me to think that the special guest that you guys have will be on the next show would be Dave's alter ego?" Dave's alter ego. You mean Colette?
I thought you meant you.
I'm not his alter ego. Hell, I'm the super ego. He's
No,
gonna be.
maybe the alter ego. We don't know.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, Tiger Mask. He could make an appearance. It's just, be like Mr. USA. It was Hulk Hogan under a mask. It'll be Tiger Mask. Dave Kokotis with under a mask. All right. Oh, real quick, I was going to ask you this question here. Did you see the video package for Dana Brooke?
No, not that I remember.
Well, it was one of the. She was somebody. They showed her like her picture. Then they showed her competing in all those fitness competitions. Where you get all jacked up, get a spray tan, and well, at least for the
Hmm.
women, you walk out there in a bikini and a pair of high heels.
Hmm.
Apparently that's what she's doing. And I'm like, dude, go ahead and send her up to the main roster with the way they're already packaging her.
Hmm. They might.
Yeah, they might because apparently that's what they like in WWE. See, if anybody's like, "Hey, how do I become a WWE wrestler?" Here's what I would tell them to do. Okay, I need you to be a bodybuilder, but I need you to not be good at it. And then I
Yeah, be
need
a
you to go to.
bodybuilder, and then be a bodybuilder that wants to wrestle.
No, don't even want to wrestle. No, 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 no. Here's what you do: you become like a bodybuilder, but you fail at it. And then after you fail at bodybuilding, you need to go try out for the NFL, but do just good or no, but it's just bad enough to where you don't make the cut. And then boom, WWE will pick you up like that. But
Man,
but anyway, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get off topic here. Look, I just make this joke because we just say that WWE, at least with the men, they love the bodybuilder, giant type, and there here you go. You've got a woman who is literally competing in all these fitness competitions. So I looked at it. She's very attractive. But I'm not going to pass judgment. Don't get me wrong. I'm not judging somebody before they step in the ring. I want to see Dana Brooke. I want to see what she can do in the ring. I want to see what she can do on the microphone, and I'm going to give her a fair chance, just like I give everybody else.
yeah, I agree entirely. I mean, here's my question. Do you think that they're going to end up bringing anyone awesome from Shimmer or anything in addition to the latest signings that they've been doing to increase the women's division even more on top of what they've been doing? Because they
To be
just signed Cassidy.
to be honest, if they were going to sign anybody, I thought they would have signed Tessa Blanchard by now. To be perfectly honest, but I really don't think, in my opinion, that WWE is making women's wrestling a priority. Yes, they do have women's wrestlers. Yes, they've got some really good ones in NXT, but that really doesn't amount to much of anything once they move up to the main roster. They're looking for eye candy. They're looking, who cares if the only move they know is a schoolgirl roll up? Who cares as long as they look cute in the ring and they can show up on Total Divas and put on the whole facade of I'm a diva. I think that's what they're looking for, because the girls they've got in there, not all of them, but a majority, the girls in there can't go, they can't wrestle, so why are
Hmm.
they going to go there? I just don't. In my opinion, I just don't think WWE values women's wrestling. They see it as more of a novelty. They see it as a bathroom break. They see it as a breathe, something to put up to give the audience a chance to catch their breath. It's a chance for the audience the live attendants to go to the snack bar, go to the stands to go buy a T-shirt. That's what they see it as.
Hmm.
And until that attitude changes, I don't think that we're not going to see just that huge influx of women's wrestlers.
Okay.
I mean, that's just my opinion. Now, I mean, it does break my heart, really, it does, because I mean, here's an example right here. I mean, it's funny you should mention that, because right afterwards you had Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss in a non-title match. This I liked, but I didn't like it. If that makes any sense. Um,
I I
Go
don't see
ahead.
why it wasn't a title match. It's my biggest gripe. Because in the situation, due to how it was lost, the belt wouldn't have changed hands, so there's no reason not to have made it a title match. You know what I mean? There's no point in not having the title on the line.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is where one of the problems that I had with the show comes in, is this match right here. Not because what was done, it's because just how it was presented here. This was a non-title match. I think you could have got around knowing everything that we know now. They could have done everything here, but here's some things they could have done to, at least in my opinion, to improve on that. All right, non-title match. Okay, I know Dave Kokotis hates those. It feels like a champion should be like the hardcore champion and defend it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whatever. You can totally do that. But
Hmm.
non-title matches are fine. Here's what you could have done. I mean, they were pushing Alexa Bliss, the hometown girl. She's from Columbus, Ohio, which I'm totally behind. They could have had like a little segment where it's like, well, the title's not on the line. It's like, have Sasha go like, yeah, of course the title's not on the line. What's Alexa Bliss done? She's done nothing. She's been
Hmm.
out for 2 months with a broken nose. I've been busting my rear end. I beat 3 other women at the last at Rival. I've been defending this title, and yeah, but at least they've done something. What has she done? She's done nothing. So no, I'm not
Hmm.
going to put my title on the line against a nobody, against somebody who hasn't earned it. I'm above that. I'm better than her. And boom, there you go. She goes out there. Alexa Bliss goes out there and beats her. Boom, just you could say she got like a lucky break or whatever, dumb luck, but she beats her right there in the ring, and then boom, that sets
Hmm.
up a title match. But instead, they went with the, and for the most part, it was a good match. I mean, I loved Sasha Banks double knees through the ropes. I love that move. I like the Bliss flip. The match went to the outside. Um, you had Bliss threw Banks into a ring post. She crawled back in the ring. By that time, the referee had already hit 8, 9, and then 10. Counted her out. Alexa Bliss wins by count out. The audience started booing this, and to be honest, I don't blame them. If this was a title match, this is how I would have ended this. But consider it was non-title, I like kind of what I just pitched. The champion went in there cocky, said you don't deserve a title match, and now, well, after this, they had like a little bit of a little confrontation backstage. Now the title's gonna be on the line. I think if the title wasn't on, okay, if the title's on the line, they end the match like they did right here. Okay, fine, we'll do it again. However, with the title not being on the line, I would have had Alexa Bliss pin Sasha Banks clean and earned a title match. That's just what I would have done different. Bottom line. Well, I mean, Rob, am I too far off base? I mean, do you think
No,
that
I
thing
mean,
was?
I agree entirely. I think it was a nice way to try and give Alexa Bliss, like, the hometown win. But, like, without the belt, I don't understand the decision to not have the belt on the line if it was that, without any explanation or anything. Because, the belt wouldn't have changed hands with that exact same finish. So, it just seemed pointless. Like, I'm with Dave on this one. There should have been a fighting champion in this match.
Well, I agree, but also, Sasha Banks is a heel, and that's when you tell people, well, you know what, I'm not going to put the title on the line because you know what, hell with you. I'm a bad guy. I'm a coward. I'm always supposed to back down from a fight. I'm always supposed to back down from a real challenge. I have to cheat. That's kind of what the heels need to do. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, you know what, you're not worth it. You know what, you haven't earned it. You know what, you've been on a 2-month vacation. Now you're coming back, and all of a sudden, oh, I'm supposed to defend put my title on the line against the likes of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that would have justified a non-title match. And that, oh, you beat me. Oh, well, you just got lucky. And like, oh, now you're gonna make me defend my title against this girl. This is totally unfair. But damn it, I'll go out there and I'll beat her up anyway. I think
Mm-hmm.
that would have worked.
I just feel like there are a number of ways they could have done it to have just made it better, but the title should have come up at least. It just felt, I don't know, like it just devalues the title to not have it be brought up at least if it's not going to get defended.
Oh wow! I mean, we got okay, and you know what? We've actually got a lot of comments here. Good lord, we got a lot of. Let's see. Let's just go down the line from Mike Ashman. He says, "I enjoy the fact that even though NXT is loaded with WWE money to invest in the product, they still keep this independent route with small venues and independent style and appeal as far as how NXT on the road in Ohio came off on screen." Well, I agree. I think it came off quite well. I think they've got a good fan base going, and um,
Mm, they're not sticking to that though, because I mean, isn't that show that's already sold out for WrestleMania weekend? Isn't that like 3,400 seats?
well, I mean, 3,400 seats still. I mean, imagine any indie promotion doing that.
That's what I mean, though. It's like they're gonna just keep filling as big a stadium as they can until they cap out.
Oh, that's what I would do. I'd start booking smaller venues, and when I started packing those out and have standing room only, then I'd book a slightly bigger one, and until those are packed out and standing room only,
Hmm.
then I'd book a bigger one. Then I mean, that's just what I would do. Let's see here. This is from Twitter. Kevin. Let's see. He says, "I'd like to see if you guys can manage a double turn as the climax of a storyline in." Oh, okay. No, apparently that's the fantasy booking there. So my bad. I just pulled a David Cotis. I read a question before I read a question out loud before I read it because whatever. Because fuck me, I guess. All right, I'll get into more of these questions a little bit. Let's go ahead and get through the main event here. You had Kevin Owens versus Alex Riley. Again, another non-title match, which I think is justifiable. Um, the match itself was, I mean, it was actually, I thought it was a pretty good one. You got, Alex Riley just ready to tear Kevin Owens apart.
Hmm.
Um, Riley did manage to get in some offense. I thought it was just going to be an absolute, just where Alex Riley would get destroyed, like Sami Zayn got destroyed. But no, he
Hmm.
got some offense in there. There was the cannonball in the corner. It got really shady when it went to the outside. Owens threw Riley into the guardrail, threw him back in the ring, hit this vicious power bomb, gets the win. Apparently takes Riley back to the outside. Looks like he's going to hit the power bomb on the ring apron. Finn Balor goes out there to stop him, and the little confrontation between the physical confrontation between those two to ease in their title match next week. Overall, I mean, I thought it was a good match and a good concept, but here's what I would have done differently. I wouldn't have done this match this week. I think it's kind of funny that WWE, or excuse me, that Alex Riley gets taunted. He gets picked on by Kevin Owens, and then William Regal says, "Okay, well you've got to make the decision. Either you're going to be a commentator, or you're going to be a competitor. You can't be both." And obviously, he makes the decision to become the competitor, and he says, "Okay, well, I'm not just going to throw you in there against." Kevin Owens, you're not going to go there till I say you're ready. He has one match with C.J. Parker, and then all of a sudden he's thrown in there with Kevin Owens.
Hmm.
That I just
And
sorry,
bypasses the number one contender.
exactly. Even though it was a non-title match, which is fine, I would have had him wrestle a few more matches and had a few more confrontations between him and Kevin Owens, trying to at least build up some sympathy for Alex Riley. I mean, no disrespect, but it's like, okay, you're going to quit your job as a commentator and you're going to go be a competitor. Fine. Okay, you want Kevin Owens? Fine. But I want you to be ready because I don't want you to go in there and get destroyed. Okay, you had one match against C.J. Parker. Oh, okay, I guess you're ready. You beat one jobber, and how the hell is he ready? I think they could have drug
Yeah.
this out a little bit longer. They could have milked it. Had him wrestle a little bit more tougher opponents, have to overcome a little bit more. You could have had Kevin Owens come out there on commentary and taunt him. You
Hmm.
could have had him interfere, like go out and beat him up after Alex Riley wins a match. You could have had him interfere during a match, Alex Riley was having, and get more sympathy for Alex Riley instead of having Kevin Owens go in there and getting cheered because he's a cool heel. And Alex Riley is a is a former wrestler turned commentator, hasn't wrestled for 2 years, wrestles one match, and now you're throwing him in there with the hottest heel that they've got on NXT.
Yeah.
I think they could have built this. I don't.
Arguably the hottest heel in the company now that they've let Seth Rollins cool.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I was opposed to how this whole thing turned out. I just think they could have built up some more tension, built up some more sympathy for Alex Riley, and told a
Hmm.
better story had they drug it out instead of just like, okay, Alex Riley beat the residential jobber. Okay, now you're ready to take on the champion.
Yeah, Alex Riley, I think, should have had to have like a path to getting to that point.
And then it fits in perfectly, and then you've got, Finn Balor ready to go. He's getting prepared. You could talk about his journey to getting to be prepared, and you could have drug this out a little bit longer.
Hmm.
Uh, I just think things could have been done a lot better. I mean, you could have had the exact same match, exact same ending, exact same confrontation at the end. I think if they just would have drug it out a little bit longer and built up more sympathy for
Yeah.
Riley, I think things would have turned out a lot better. Other than, okay, one match, he's ready to go, and then, oh wow, the crowd's really behind Kevin Owens. You maybe could have got some extra boos on Kevin Owens.
Or
Maybe got
even
some more
like
cheers for Alex Riley.
I would have liked to have even seen him instead of having this match have it be Alex Riley against Finn Balor and have Finn Balor basically defending his number one contendership and have him beat Alex Riley similarly, like just a very one sided feeling match. And then afterwards you just have Owens come out and start taunting him, pointing out he can't even beat the #1 contender. How's he expect to ever beat the champion? And just have him then have to start build up and, work up to actually challenging for the belt.
Huh? Yeah, I mean, that works too. I just think, I'm not saying this was bad. I just think it could have been done a little bit better. And I do want to wish Kevin Owens a very speedy recovery. He just had, of course, if you've been reading the dirt sheets, and of course, KocoSports.com, where some guy on here updates the news like every day. I don't know who that guy is, but Kevin Owens had some surgery for a partially torn meniscus. He's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks. He's already rehabbing it right now, so definitely wish him a speedy recovery. Interested to see how I think I could have worked it, even if this was on the main roster. I think I could have worked this into the storyline where he's flat out refused to wrestle Alex Riley and say, like, you know what, I don't think you're ready. I'm not gonna, yeah, I said I'm gonna fight you, but I didn't say when. Or even do that with Finn Balor. Well, I said, you got the #1 contendership, but I pretty much picked my spot when I challenged Sami Zayn, and I'm gonna pick my spot when I allow you to challenge me for this title.
Well, actually, is Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens already recorded, or was that supposed to be at that special pre-WrestleMania thing?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think they may have done it there.
Because it didn't look like he got injured in any way in that match. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think he got injured in that. It doesn't look like it at all. So it might be in the match against Finn Balor.
Yeah. My question is, I wonder what they're going to do for him not having a match or being, you know what I mean, for that long. Because it's supposed to be 4 to 6 weeks.
So that would honestly, to be honest, that actually translates to about a month of him not. I mean, he'll probably he's going to have to be on NXT because he's the champion, but we probably won't see him in the ring for at least a month, because if they tape everything about I think they do 4 weeks worth of a month, or 4 weeks worth of material in one day. So I think that would probably translate to at least a month of out of ring, maybe 2. It's just going to depend.
Yeah, I think we'll end up not seeing him on the next batch of recordings at all, except, mic work.
Yeah, so I think that'll be ready for me. Let's see. Mike Ashman, he writes, WrestleMania needs an NXT special showcase on the match card, even if it's a pre-show or opener. I agree. I think that could definitely be something that you could dangle that carrot in front of the NXT crowd, or those superstars rather. You could have it to where we're going to put one good match. I would make at least one NXT match the pre-show for everything. And that, I've already said this. I know I've said this on past shows, is have at least one NXT match as your pre-show, and then you can see how the product looks on the big stage, how these particular superstars translate. Are they getting over with the crowd? Are they not? Are they getting into them? How do crowds react to them? What are some mistakes that you can find that you can bring them back to NXT and work on? And plus, maybe the crowd will like it and be like, oh, well, I like this. Oh, this is on the WWE Network? Oh, well, I need to watch that. Or, oh, wow, I haven't subscribed to the WWE Network, but if I subscribe, this is the only way I can watch this? Great, that's what I'll do. I think that definitely needs to be done. But I think there's some resentment on the main roster. And again, this is speculation, by the way. I have no facts, no nothing to back this up. This is just me kind of just guessing here. I think there is some resentment on the main roster towards the NXT guys, because they're allowed to go out and kind of do what they want and put on good matches. And they've got, granted, they're not making nowhere near the money that the main roster guys are, but they don't come out, NXT guys don't go back to the locker room looking like a bunch of fucking schmucks at the end of the day. And they're allowed to work longer matches with good opponents that make each other look good. They take care of each other. and they're getting pretty good reaction. And I think there's some resentment on the main guys for that. So why would you want to take these guys that you purportedly see as inferior and put them on the put them up on a big show and take away a potential spot for anywhere from a couple of guys on the main roster?
Hmm. Well, I'm personally hoping that this WrestleMania will be a change of that logic, that mentality, and that they're just gonna let people go. Like they're gonna be like, all right, just you guys go as hard as you want to in this Intercontinental match, shit like that. And they're gonna tell Brock Lesnar, you suplex Roman Reigns as many times as you have the energy for.
No, I just think it's because Raw has got way too much stuff they have to do. I mean, they've got to keep the board of directors happy. They have to keep stockholders happy. They have to keep the sponsors happy. They
Hmm.
have to, do so much promotion and just do all this. And I think it's just they've got too many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak.
I
Where
just wish they'd do like just get main event on the network again. Make main event only on the network, and then just book like an hour, like NXT. Like book an hour to let your workers show off.
uh, but bottom line is, I'd love to see it. And will it make it onto the main show? I doubt it, but I would love to see it as a pre-show. I
Hmm.
think that could definitely be a good selling point. And plus, I mean, how many times did we complain about, like a tag? I think it was a WrestleMania, like a tag team title match being on. Like I know it was back when Epico and Primo had the tag team titles. They defended those tag belts on the pre-show, or was it either no, no, I think it was a dark match. It was either the dark match or a pre-show match at Mania, and you didn't defend it on the main show. If you got your NXT guys, boom, that kind of match winds up there on the main roster. You don't have to hold anything back for a pre-show match.
You know what would be kind of cool actually, with the Usos being unable to be in that tag team like massive match they want to have at WrestleMania apparently. With
Mm-hmm.
the Usos, one of them being injured, it'd be cool if on that NXT card they had a match just to determine the winner of that would get to replace the Usos in that match and have that be the Lucha Dragons call up.
Yeah, they could do. Yeah, you could do like a.
Because like even if they lose at WrestleMania, it's still huge for them to debut at WrestleMania.
Yeah, because what I would do is I would put about three teams in that match right there. I'd put in Enzo Amore, Colin Cassidy, the Vaude Villains, and the Lucha Dragons, and have the Lucha Dragons go over.
See, I would actually do the tag team champions in that
I
match
would
too.
I would not because either the tag team champions need to win or they don't need to be in that match. You don't want to see, even though
See,
they
I
may not
thought it would
directly
be
take the
good.
pin. They may not directly take the pin, but they don't win the match. But yet they're going to be the ones. Oh, we're the best guys.
Oh,
We're the
see,
tag team
but
champions, but we didn't win.
there's a way around that though. What you do is you just have it where Buddy or someone's hitting on Carmella outside, and it turns into just both guys from both tag teams just brawling outside the ring, and both teams get eliminated, and that's why the Lucha Dragons go ahead.
I mean, I think either one of those could work. Let's see, there's some news elements here that Mike Ashby wants to bring up here. He's talking about how the Dudleys are open to working with NXT, to working with those guys. I think, I don't think just by the sheer simple fact of those two working with the tag team division, it's going to make them good. I mean, it'll help because I mean they're a very good tag team. But you got to have tag teams to work with the tag team division. Right now, you've got with the Lucha Dragons getting called up, you got three. You have got three tag teams. Yeah, you've got obviously Blake and Murphy, the tag team champions. You've got Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy, and then you got the Vaude Villains, and that is it.
Hmm.
And they broke up Jason Jordan and Ty Dillinger. So what are they doing? You broke up the Legionnaires. What are you going to do? It's like, okay, if you're going to bring on the Shoot Nation, you need to get them up there. You need to get them debuted and get them a gimmick and get them a push.
You know, you
Because
could
right
put
now you
Baron
got three.
Corbin and Solomon Crow together looks wise.
Mhm. And then he also brings up about WWE approaching Lou D'Angeli, formerly, I think that was Lou E. Dangerously or Sign Guy Dudley. It was asking him to work with NXT on live events. Well, D'Angeli now works for Cirque du Soleil. Said, you know what, I'm not going to do it. Well, they're going to get Jack Victor. They've asked Jack Victory, former ECW guy, to jump on board with that, who worked with D'Angeli in ECW, at least on that in that capacity. So interested to see where that goes. Let's see, what else? I'm looking to see here. Okay, and this is a question here from Lennox Watterson from earlier, and I think we can wrap the show up on this one. Have you seen Wrestling Isn't Wrestling? Ignore what Alucard said about it. It's a brilliant quasi-documentary retrospective on the career of Triple H and was created by an actual talented film writer, unlike the schmucks who write Raw. It features many indie wrestling talents making cameos, not impersonations. I think you'd like it. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, Lex. Actually, I watched that today, and I sent a link to Rob and Dave. I don't know if they've seen it yet, but I enjoyed it. Basically, if you haven't seen it, it's the son of God, it was Landis, Max Landis. God, it's the guy who Landis. What did dude, I'm going blank. But it's like the son of like a filmmaker who did a
Didn't
lot
he
of
make Spring Breakers? I think he made Spring Breakers.
That I don't know. This is this. I think it's the son of John Landis. And I think he's done too. Actually, no. You know what? I can find it. But basically, what it is he sits down in a chair with a beer, and he tells the story, of Triple H about how he debuted as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and then the rise to DX, and then when he goes went solo after Shawn Michaels retired, the formation of Evolution, his feud with the Undertaker. And they use females to play all the male characters, and sometimes they use males to play the female characters. They had like a dude playing China. It was actually it was funny. It was worth checking out. Okay, it's the son of John Landis, and of course John Landis made the Blues Brothers, Twilight Zone the movie, An American Werewolf in London, Coming to America. Okay, that's who John Landis is. Okay. I'm just blanking on which, let's see, and Max Landis, I believe that's the guy who made it. He made, let's see, some of his, as a director, let's see, he's done some shorts, but nothing really big. Let's see. He's done The Slap, that's a video short. Jane L.A., that's a short. The Death and Return of Superman, that's a short. He's got
Which is
about
really good.
Yeah, he made 7 appearances as an actor. One in Blues Brothers 2000. One is in The Stupids. And I'm trying to, let's see, in Modern Romance, that's a short. And then Burke and Hare. Okay, so it's just some minor stuff. So that's what he's been doing. But apparently he likes wrestling, and we'll try to find a copy of it and put it on the website. You can check it out. Tell us what you think about it. But I think it was entertaining. I don't know if you've had a chance to see it yet, Rob, but if you haven't, it's worth checking out. It's about 25 minutes, but trust me, the time flies by after you hit play.
No, I'll probably check it out tomorrow, though.
All right, let's see here. If there's any more questions, let's go ahead and get them in. If not, anything that we get asked, we can probably take up a little bit later, maybe do a Stump the Idiot on. Let's see. Well, I guess I do need to promote the fact that we're going to do a Lucha Underground review again within the next 24 to 48 hours. We're supposed to have a special guest. Apparently it's so super secret that even I don't even know who it is, so who knows who it could be. It could be, American Alucard. It could be Wrestling Rantin'. It could be Rob. It could be me.
Could be Sabu.
Yes, it could be Sabu. Wow, we'd actually make him talk.
That's right. Maybe it's Kenta finally going to get over. Zack Ryder, this is your moment.
It's going to be Tanahashi. We'll have to get Dave's Watch to translate.
If we can stop her from swooning for Tanahashi.
Mm. All right, but that's looking like it's going to do it. So, real quick, Rob, tell everybody where they can find you.
SIDUAKAL on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
Oh, nice. And of course, you can always find us at KocoSports.com. That's KocoSports.com. It's your home for all combat sports. That includes boxing, mixed martial arts, pro wrestling, amateur wrestling, sumo wrestling, taekwondo, kickboxing, judo. If you can get your nose broke doing it, we got you covered there on the site. Check out our news and gossip section. Rob here, he's the guy updating it, so please support him. And he's even got some pretty good opinion columns out there, and we want to see yours. So, hey, maybe if you sweet talk Rob, maybe he'll publish it for you. Not making any promises. We've got our lovely video on demand section, so if you want to check out this episode of NXT, Lucha Underground, New Japan, Raw, Total Divas, SmackDown, you can go check it out there. And the best part about KocoSports.com, it's absolutely positively 100% free. So check it out at KocoSports.com. It's where the world goes to kick ass. So this is Boom Boom, and for my tag team partners, Rob and Dave, I am over.